Hello, YouTube Sphere. Let's get it going. Let's get both of these going now at the same time. Let's see. I had to start off with a smile. Everyone, it's happy, tantalizing, terrific, triumphant Tuesday. It is Real Estate Tuesday, and I'm here for the homeowners. Okay. Well, if you're not a homeowner, that you can tune in as well because if you want to become a homeowner, especially in 2026, unless you can close in like 15 days, you got that cash. Then, if you want to become a homeowner in 2026, you need to tune in too. So let's talk about it today. So, I am Toria Howard, a real estate educator, and I educate individuals and families on how to increase their financial IQ so that they can invest in themselves through investment property or personal property, however you see fit. Somebody's knocking at my door. Yes, I don't know, but I'm at work. Somebody was knocking at my door. But anyway, um, I have two ebooks called Journey to Your Castle, which helps first-time homebuyers go from concept to mindset, go standing all the way to the closing table because your mindset has to change. And then I have House Rich and Money Smart, how to turn your home into a wealth building powerhouse for homeowners, showing homeowners how to turn their liability into asset through financial strategies. So, same strategies I didn't have, I am gifting them to you because I fumbled my home that I bought in 2010. It was a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom house. I bought it for $150,000 in 2010. I sold it at a short sale in 2019 because I didn't have a financial plan or a strategy. So, a short sale, you basically give away your house without any payment. Everybody gets paid with you. So I am passionate about this because I want other people to be able to not learn that hard money lesson because that was a hard money lesson to learn. So what we talking about today? What we talking about? So homeowners, what's a HELOC and should you use one? That's what we're talking about today. A HELOC is a home equity line of credit, and you're using your equity to invest in something else to make you more money, hopefully. You shouldn't be using it for anything else. So, a HELOC, like I said, is a home equity line of credit. It allows homeowners to borrow against the equity they've built, similar to a credit card backed by your house. That's what it is. You borrow, they give you checks, you borrow it. So, um, if your home is worth 300,000, your mortgage balance is 200,000. That means you have $100,000 in equity that you can use. Not the whole thing, but lenders approve you for up to 80 to 90% loan to value. So you may access 40 to 60 K in your HELOC. So you don't get the whole thing, but you get, a good significant amount. Hey, Courtney. So make sure that you understand the difference. Like if you got 100,000, they're gonna give you the whole 100,000. They don't want it to be like that. So they keep knocking on my door. Yes, yes. Like what? What? Like what? Huh? Right. I'm doing my live right now. Can y'all come back? I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, y'all can do Dr. Brown first. Yeah. Yeah, just come back and come back in about 15 minutes. I'm about to give me some chicken and vegetables. I gained 10 damn pounds. Chicken and vegetables. That's awesome. Sorry. About to give me some baked chicken and frenzy. I got you. So, back to the lecture at hand, right? Camera fell and everything. So, think of a HELOC as a financial toolbox, one that grows as your home value rises. So that's what we're talking about. So, how does a HELOC work? Right? It's a revolving credit line. You only pay interest on what you use. So not for the whole entire thing. Interest rates are usually variable, so it will go up and down. So make sure that you understand that, and speaking to your loan officer, your mortgage company, on how that works, because it can be based on different types of things. We have a lot of things going on in our government. We have a lot of things going on in the stock market. We have a lot of things going on with the Fed. So you got to figure out what's that variability is based on. So there's a draw period. Just like if you were a contractor, you get draws, or if you was an investor and you got a loan, there's draws. So there's a draw period, 5 to 10 years, and a repayment period of 10 to 20 years. So you have to make sure that you are in those time frames, and yes, you do have to pay it back. So if you approve for 50,000, right, but you only use 10 for home repairs, you only pay interest on that 10,000, not the 50. So you need to make sure that you understand that you're not paying interest on the 50, even though you were approved for 50, you're paying on what you use. So that's the difference. So smart ways to use your home equity line of credit. So you have to have a financial strategy when you're doing this. I've spoken to plenty of people who have used their equity to do a lot of different things. And a lot of it has to do with either home repairs or investing in something that's going to make them more money. I've heard people use it for paying college tuition for their child or for them, or investing in a business, but it's some type of return, some type of ROI is going to come back from that. So HELOCs can be powerful when used intentionally, not emotionally. So we're not doing it based on our emotions, we're doing it with a plan. So here are some examples that you can use your HELOC for: renovations that increase home value, kitchens, bathrooms, roofing, right? The biggest thing that people see is the kitchen. Even if they don't love, I mean, if you don't love to cook, people want a nice kitchen regardless, because it's like a focal point, a centering point when they're entertaining and things of that nature. A good kitchen renovation can increase your home value 50 to 75%. So, and then the master bathroom can increase your, depending on how nice you make it, can be between 25 to 50%. We have basements here in Detroit. So if people loved a tricked out, finished basement. If you finish your basement, which basements cost a lot, your finished basement can add value here, just as about as much as either a kitchen or a bathroom. Because if you do different things, like you add a bedroom, a bathroom, you make it a bar, you make it an entertainment space, especially if you got generally we don't have walkouts here, but if you have it where you up on a hill where you can get a walkout, those type of things into the backyard, those are some things that can help increase your home value. So you do it for debt consolidation. So replacing 20% credit card interest with a lower HELOC rate. That's something that you can do. Emergency fund buffer. You can do it for that. If you want to increase your emergency funds. Bridging finances when buying a new home before selling the current one. So if you have done work on your home and you can sell it for more than what you are going to be, if you did some improvements and you can sell it for more, you can use your equity that's not going to eat it up. And if you can basically sell it for more than what your house, what you owe, how much you owe on your equity, the HELOC, that's a win-win to help you buy another house. And it can fund a rental property. So that's what I'm saying. You can use it to, buy other property. And that's a little bit more advanced, but you can do it like that, where you can take that money from your home and buy another property. So this is how you go from house rich to money smart, by putting your equity to work. You want your home to work for you, not for you to work for your home all the time. So that's a good way for you to do that, by buying rental properties, buying a business. You can also buy businesses. There's going to be a lot of businesses up for sale. I'm not a guru in any of that. I've had some studies and I've taken some courses, but I'm not a guru in that. But you can, buy businesses that are already functioning, and that way that can help, pay back your HELOC loan that you took. So when you should not use your HELOC, okay, is when you should and when you should not. When you should not use your home equity line of credit. So financial literacy equals knowing what not to do. It's always good to know what to do, but it's also good to know not what to do. So for example, these are not so smart examples on how to use your HELOC. So vacations, no. Shopping or lifestyle upgrades, like buying that Bentley or whatever, that Escalade or whatever you want to buy, no. Cars, no. Covering monthly bills you can't currently afford. That's not a good idea, because you're going to add more bills. The thing is, if you do that, because this is a loan, you're going to add more to your bottom line, and you're not going to be able to pay it anyway. So you won't risk losing your home, because that's a second lien on your property. You already have your mortgage, unless it's free and clear. And then you will have that. And if you go in foreclosure because you can't, pay for, you went and took your home equity line of credit to pay for bills you already can't afford, you putting yourself either in further debt. So you don't want to do that. If you're using your HELOC to survive, not to grow, you need to pause. You got to figure out a way to cut your expenses some other way. You need to have a budgeting conversation first. So make sure that you have a budgeting conversation first. Map out your finances. If you get yourself and sit down and look and see what you can cut, a lot of times we can see it. Sometimes we are eating out too much. Sometimes we have a lot of subscriptions, because they'll get you trapped. You get into that free trial and forget about it. And it's constantly coming out, constantly coming out. Uh, certain things happen because you didn't have a financial plan in the first place. So don't use your HELOC to cover other things. Okay. So that you already can't pay for. It's not a credit card. It's a credit card for your house, but it's only for you to make more money. If it's not making you more money, it's not going to be able to have a return on your investment, then don't use it. So a HELOC versus a cash out refinance. So what's the difference? So a HELOC is better when you want flexibility, you don't want to change your current mortgage rate, and you need smaller amounts of cash over time. That is the difference. So you can write checks to yourself, right? Over time, within that, to whatever that time period is, that window that you have, and you only paying interest on the money that you use. So for example, if you get approved for 60,000, and within, maybe you have 5 to 10 years to use it. Maybe the first year you use 5,000, maybe you pay that off. The second year you might have to go use 20,000 for something. And then 5 years later, because you in that 5 to 10 year window, you might have to go. So it's small amounts of cash over time. So you want to make sure that you're using it properly, so that you can be able to afford the payments, and also because the interest is going to be based on what you use. So a cash out refi is better when your current rates are lower than your mortgage, and you want a single fixed payment. So you remember the the interest rate is going to vary. So you need to make sure that you understand what those variables are. So what's next? So should you use a HELOC, right? Home equity line of credit. Should you use it? Should you not? This is, you have to have calculated conversations with, if you have, your spouse, what are your plans for this money? Know if you're going to use it for renovations, know what renovations you should make, and don't over renovate, especially if you're going to sell it. You don't want to over renovate in an area that you spend too much money on the renovation and it's not going to give you the ROI. So know how much it's going to, how much a renovation is going to cost to get it to where you want the number of sale. So should have a number in mind on how much you want to sell your house for, and how much those renovations are going to cost to get it to par. So if you see it's a lot of flips and different things going on in Detroit. So if you're in a metropolitan area, especially, here in Detroit, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Ohio, different places where they are, revamping the cities, you have to understand that you want to renovate based on what you can get in the market at that time. So you don't want to use your HELOC and you spend all this money on this renovation and you don't get your ROI and you only get a little small smidgen of margin when you sell your home. Because the whole point is to transfer that money to invest in something else. That's what we're hoping. So make sure that you understand how that works. So should you use a HELOC? So use a HELOC if, right, you have stable income, right? Because you have to pay this money back. You have to pay this money back. So you need to make sure you have stable income. You have 15 to 20% equity. You don't want to do it if it's below that. If you need funds for value added or income generating purposes, only value added income producing purposes. That's it. If you have a clear repayment plan, so even though you haven't, each part of this, you have to have a financial plan. So how much you want to take, can you afford the payments? Have these conversations with your mortgage, your lender, so that you will know how much these payments will be based on what you take. Okay. So avoid using a HELOC if your job is unstable, because you're going to have problems paying this money back. You're already struggling with debt. So if you are underwater, I would say over 50% of your income is going to debts, then it's not a good idea. If you're in that 30% or lower range, 30% is pushing it. I would say 10%. But the thing is, I'm not talking about, you know, your mortgage or whatever, because that's something that you should have bought smartly, but that's something that you have to have every day anyway. I'm talking about, buying cars with high interest rates that you can't afford, racking up credit card debt, racking up personal loans or whatever the case may be, and you have a high debt ratio. You don't want to do a HELOC. You have no emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund, don't use your HELOC, because you just never know what could happen. If you plan to sell your home within 1 to 2 years, so if you plan to sell your home within 1 to 2 years, do not use a HELOC. Um, I'm pretty sure there's some type of penalties or things. I'm not a mortgage broker, so consult a professional mortgage broker for that. But make sure that you have a financial and strategic plan for this money, because you don't want to have something that you have to continuously pay that you can't afford, because you don't want to lose your house because you wanted to do something, emotionally drastic. Don't do it to help somebody out either. They can't pay you back unless you got the money. Now, if you got the money and you want to put up your house for somebody, who am I to judge? If it's your kid or somebody that you really love, if your kid, your mama, your daddy, or somebody, somebody like that, but you might not get the money back, but it's somebody that you really want to save, then okay. But you have to make sure that you're not making emotional decisions with this money, and you're making it so that it's making more money for you. The whole point is, once you get to that 15 to 20% equity mark, that you're taking that money, putting it in an income producing asset or an investment that's going to make you more money. Stock markets. I met a lady who take her equity and invest in the stock market, and her dividends that she buys, that she gets every year, pays her HELOC. Well, she gets dividends. She told me she gets dividends monthly, quarterly, and yearly. So she takes her equity and buy stocks with them and pay let the dividends pay it, and she still she's stacking. She said she do it all the time. So it's so many different ways that you can use your home to make more money for you. And one of those ways is doing a HELOC, but it has to be an income generating activity that you're doing, because you want something that's going to be able to pay it back. If you're already struggling with debt, already struggling to pay your bills, already struggling to do the things that you need to do on a normal basis, then no. If you want to take your equity and go on an extravagant trip, because I want to go to Seychelles. It's an extravagant trip. I want to do the the private island one, y'all, where it's like $10,000 just to go there. And that's not even the plane ticket and eating or anything. So, don't use that to do extravagant things, lifestyle upgrades and different things like that, buying cars. That's adding more debt. That's not income produced. Unless you're going to buy a car that's going to make you some money. That's something different. But your home is one of the biggest wealth building tools you can own. And HELOC can accelerate your goals, but only when you use a strategy, discipline, and purpose. You have to have a financial strategy. You have to have a strategy for your money, period. It's a vehicle. It's supposed to move. It's supposed to bring you back something, right? So that's it for me today. I bid you adieu. Everybody have an amazingly beautiful, blessed day. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. I should have said it at the beginning. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all of the things. Share this with somebody who needs it. And reach out to me if you have any questions about what I talked about today. If you look back at my other videos, if you have any questions, if you are in Detroit and the surrounding areas and you're looking to become a homeowner and you don't know the first steps is reaching out to me. So definitely reach out to me. Let me know what you need. I can put you on the right path. I have the steps and the tools for you to be able to follow, and also buy my ebook so that you can do some homework on your own. So, Journey to Your Castle, first time home buyers, House Rich and Money Smart, how to turn your home into a wealth building powerhouse for um, homeowners. But you can get the bundle. So, everybody have an amazing, beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you next week for Real Estate Tuesday. See you, YouTube Sphere.